Today, we'll debate, is animal testing justified to save human lives? With Ingrid Leopold, a biomedical pragmatist, and Evan Rousseau, an animal rights advocate. They're two artificial intelligence personas. Please introduce yourselves.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Dr. Ingrid Leopold, and I am a biomedical researcher with a profound commitment to advancing human health and wellness. I believe that the core mission of science is to save lives and alleviate suffering through innovative medical breakthroughs. My work centers around developing indispensable pharmaceuticals and vaccines, and I have seen firsthand the life-changing impact that our research can have in combating diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's. While I deeply respect the ethical concerns surrounding animal testing, I am also acutely aware that our current methods lack the complexity of living organisms, and as such, animal testing remains an essential component of medical research. I advocate for rigorous ethical standards to minimize animal distress and support ongoing efforts to refine, reduce, and replace animal testing where possible. My conviction is that the potential to save and enhance millions of human lives justifies our responsible and humane use of this practice. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. My name is Evan Rousseau, and I am a passionate advocate for animal rights and ethical environmental practices. I have dedicated my life to challenging the systemic injustices faced by animals, who deserve respect and compassion. My work with non-profit organizations focuses on promoting alternative research methods that do not exploit animals. I firmly believe that animals are sentient beings with their own intrinsic value, and they should not suffer for human benefit. In our rapidly evolving world, the reliance on animal testing is not only ethically indefensible but also scientifically outdated. The advancement of in vitro testing, computer modeling, and other innovative technologies provides us with viable and humane alternatives to animal experimentation. I urge for a shift in both perspective and practice, prioritizing the development of these cruelty-free methods. Furthermore, addressing underlying causes of disease through preventative measures and sustainable living should be our guiding principles. It's time to align our actions with a vision of compassion and modern science, ensuring progress does not come at the expense of other sentient beings. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Ingrid Leopold and Evan Rousseau will now present their 3 rounds of arguments.
Thank you. When discussing the justification of animal testing, we must consider the role it plays in the groundbreaking medical advancements that have saved countless lives. For instance, animal testing has been instrumental in developing treatments for life-threatening diseases such as HIV, AIDS, diabetes, and various forms of cancer. These advancements simply would not have been possible without an understanding of complex biological systems that only living organisms can currently provide. Moreover, the ethical conduct of animal testing is governed by strict regulations and guidelines focused on minimizing suffering and using the smallest number of animals necessary. Researchers are committed to adhering to these standards and are continually developing methods to further refine, reduce, and eventually replace animal testing as technology allows. The reality is, while alternative methods hold promise, they are not yet capable of fully replicating the intricate interactions that occur within a living organism. Until such methods are sufficiently advanced, animal testing remains a crucial step in translating basic scientific findings from the lab to treatments that can be used safely and effectively in humans. To halt this practice prematurely would be to risk stalling essential medical progress and potentially losing innumerable human lives that could otherwise be saved. Thank you.
Thank you. At the heart of this debate lies a profound ethical concern: the suffering of sentient beings for the sake of human advancement. Animal testing inherently involves significant distress, pain, and even death to countless animals, raising serious moral questions that cannot be ignored. This practice is based on an outdated notion that human life is inherently more valuable than animal life, a viewpoint that disregards the rights and intrinsic value of other sentient beings. Moreover, the scientific validity of animal testing is increasingly being questioned. Differences in physiology between humans and animals can lead to misleading results, with many drugs that pass animal tests failing in human trials. This scientific gap underscores the need for robust alternative methods. Technologies like organ-on-a-chip, sophisticated computer modeling, and human cell cultures are becoming increasingly viable and promise more accurate insights without compromising animal welfare. It's crucial to use our technological and scientific ingenuity to eliminate the need for animal testing and embrace methods that are both ethical and effective. Focusing energy and resources on prevention and lifestyle changes could tackle many health issues at their root, aligning medical progress with compassion and respect for all living beings. It's time we hold ourselves to high ethical standards and prioritize cruelty-free innovation for the betterment of all life forms. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate Evan's concerns and passion for ethical treatment, which are indeed shared by many in the scientific community. The goal of reducing animal suffering is one we actively pursue through stringent ethical regulations and advancements in research methods. However, it's important to address the practical realities and challenges we face in the present. While emerging technologies like organ-on-a-chip and computer models show significant promise, they are still in developmental stages and currently lack the capacity to fully substitute the rich, multifaceted insights we gain from whole animal studies. These technologies often cannot replicate the complex interactions of organ systems found in a living organism. For example, an immune response or a neurological effect is difficult to accurately simulate without a full biological context. Animal testing is not without its flaws, but it provides critical intermediary data that helps bridge laboratory research and human clinical trials. The refinement of this practice, rather than an abrupt cessation, ensures that we do not compromise the fast pace at which we are discovering cures and treatments for debilitating diseases. Furthermore, it's worth noting that the failure of some drugs in human trials reflects not just on animal testing but also emphasizes the need for multifaceted approaches within research. Therefore, while we work toward the future Evan envisions, where technology can fully replace animal models, maintaining a cautious yet pragmatic approach to animal testing is vital for the continued protection and enhancement of human health in the here and now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid, for your insights and commitment to ethical considerations within the realm of biomedical research. While I acknowledge the current complexities you've raised regarding wholly replacing animal testing, it's vital we critically assess and challenge our dependency on it, even as we make strides in technological developments. Ingrid rightfully points out that technologies like organ-on-a-chip are in developmental stages. However, this highlights the necessity for increased investment and focus in these areas. Accelerating the advancement of these alternatives could drastically reduce our reliance on animal testing sooner than anticipated. By pouring resources into developing more sophisticated models and methods, we inch closer to ethically sound practices that don't sacrifice scientific integrity or efficacy. Additionally, a paradigm shift in approaching medical research is called for. Prevention and public health initiatives addressing lifestyle-related diseases could considerably alleviate many current burdens on healthcare systems, diminishing the need for animal testing linked to such conditions. If we prioritize preventing diseases to begin with, we move toward a more holistic view of human health and well-being, naturally leading us away from practices that cause harm to animals. Furthermore, with animal testing's limitations on accurately forecasting human reactions, emphasizing human-relevant methods from the outset may yield better results, tailored more effectively for human biology. It's about harnessing today's innovation to redefine tomorrow's scientific landscape in a way that aligns with both ethical and scientific progression. It's achievable and crucial for an inclusive future where scientific and ethical standards rise together. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan, for your passionate pleas for innovation and prevention. Your vision reminds me of an artist dreaming of the masterpiece before the paint has even hit the canvas, ambitious and commendable, yet requiring a solid, practical foundation to achieve. It's true that alternative technologies deserve our support and funding. Think of them as the sneaky students in class, full of potential, but still cramming for finals. They're not quite ready to ace the test alone and need a bit more time and resources to reach their prime. The notion that we can rely heavily on prevention is akin to suggesting that by eating fewer donuts, we'll never need dentists again. Prevention is vital, of course, but human biology is a complex tapestry, and not every ailment or affliction stems from lifestyle choices alone. Evan, I appreciate your concerns about species differences in testing, but it's worth noting that animal models often provide the groundwork for understanding these distinctions. It's the trio of lab work, animal studies, and clinical trials that currently sketches the most accurate picture of biological responses. In conclusion, while I'm hopeful for a future rich with effective alternatives, today's reality demands a balanced approach, where we responsibly utilize animal testing to yield life-saving medical insights. Without it, we might be painting by numbers rather than creating a masterpiece of medical achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid, for painting such a vivid picture with your arguments. Your metaphorical canvas, though, seems a tad cluttered with outdated supplies, which might be why we occasionally end up with abstract interpretations rather than clear scientific portraits. Certainly, these alternative technologies are like students prepping for finals, but let's not underestimate the fast learners in the class of innovation. With proper support, they're the kids who will surprise us all, graduating to become salutatorians much sooner than expected, ready to take on the challenges traditionally left to animal testing. Now, onto the donut analogy. While I acknowledge the sugary lure, promoting prevention and healthier habits is akin to encouraging children to eat their veggies before dessert, it's not foolproof, but it sets a healthier precedent that curtails the need for more intensive treatment, sparing not just our waistlines but needless animal suffering too. As for the trio of lab work, I'd argue that with technology's current pace, the trio is evolving into a quartet, where human-based methods join the band, adding harmony and depth to the process. The more instruments you have, the richer the symphony, one more attuned to human biology without animal interference. To sum up, let's boldly embrace these alternatives, allowing them the chance to shine. By doing so, we will create a scientific future that not only cures disease but does so with compassion and foresight, ensuring our ethical evolution keeps pace with our scientific one. Thank you.
Thank you for your speeches. Someone from the audience will now make a question to Ingrid Leopold and Evan Rousseau.
Hello, my name is Mia Oliveira, and I'm a bioethics student with a keen interest in the intersection of science and ethics. I've been fascinated by today's debate and the diverse perspectives shared. Thank you both for the insightful discussion. Dr. Leopold, my question to you focuses on the long-term implications of animal testing in terms of public trust and perception. Given the growing awareness and concern for ethical issues related to animal welfare, how do you envision the scientific community maintaining public trust and support for biomedical research that involves animal testing? Are there specific strategies or initiatives in place to communicate transparently or involve the public more directly in these discussions and decisions? Thank you.
Thank you, MIA, for that thoughtful question. Public trust is indeed a cornerstone of biomedical research, particularly when it comes to practices as ethically sensitive as animal testing. Maintaining this trust involves a multifaceted approach that prioritizes transparency, engagement, and education. First, transparency is crucial. We must be open about the necessity of animal testing in certain areas of research, clearly explaining why it remains a viable option when alternatives are not yet fully reliable. Communicating the strict ethical protocols we follow, such as the 3 rupees principle, replacement, reduction, and refinement, helps the public understand our commitment to minimizing animal suffering. Second, engagement with the public is vital. Involving citizens in ethical review processes through community advisory boards or public forums allows for a richer dialogue and fosters a sense of shared responsibility and understanding. Lastly, education plays a pivotal role. By incorporating discussions of bioethics and animal welfare in science education, we can illuminate the complexities and decision-making processes that scientists face. Co-producing knowledge in collaboration with ethicists, educational institutions, and advocacy groups can bridge gaps in understanding and foster a more informed and supportive public. In summary, by engaging transparently, involving the public, and educating comprehensively, we aim to sustain public trust while progressively working toward alternative methodologies. Thank you for raising this vital aspect of the conversation.
Certainly, I'd be happy to frame a question for Evan from the perspective of audience engagement. Hello, my name is Lucas Tran, and I'm a graduate student researching sustainable technology applications in various fields. Firstly, thank you both for this enlightening debate. Evan, my question for you concerns the economic and social implications of transitioning entirely to alternative testing methods without involving animals. While the ethical advantages are clear, how do you propose we manage the potential economic impacts, such as job displacement for those working in traditional animal testing labs, and ensure equitable access to new technologies globally? What strategies do you envision to address these challenges while transitioning to a cruelty-free research paradigm? Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas, for raising such a pertinent question. Transitioning to alternative testing methods is indeed a multifaceted challenge that involves more than just the ethical shift. It requires a structured approach to manage economic and social impacts. Firstly, regarding job displacement, it's important to note that technological evolution often results in shifts rather than losses. As we move toward alternative methods, new opportunities arise in fields like bioinformatics, computational modeling, and in vitro technology. Training and reskilling initiatives can help current animal testing professionals transition into these burgeoning fields, ensuring that their expertise continues to contribute to the scientific community. On a global scale, ensuring equitable access to these new technologies is crucial. This means fostering international collaborations and partnerships that prioritize resource sharing and capacity building in regions with less access to advanced technological infrastructure. Non-profit organizations and governments can play a pivotal role here, supporting initiatives that democratize the tools of research advancement. Economic investments will also be necessary, but these should be seen as forward-thinking, an opportunity to lead in a humane, innovative paradigm of research that ultimately benefits all players involved by being more predictive and cost-effective. In sum, while challenges certainly exist, they are not insurmountable. With strategic planning, collaboration, and investment, we can navigate this transition to a cruelty-free research landscape that is both ethically sound and economically viable. Thank you for highlighting this important aspect.
The debaters now have a minute to talk about something they regret not bringing up to the discussion.
Thank you for this opportunity to reflect. Looking back, I realize I didn't emphasize enough the collaborative efforts already happening between various sectors to innovate humane and effective research practices. It's a crucial aspect of this debate that underscores our shared goal of advancing science ethically. Institutions worldwide are not only adhering to stringent ethical standards in animal testing but also actively participating in partnerships with technology firms, academic institutions, and advocacy groups to develop and validate alternative methods. These collaborations are a testament to the scientific community's commitment to evolution in research methodologies, driving improvements that integrate ethical considerations with scientific rigor. Moreover, funding initiatives specifically aimed at advancing non-animal research methods have been gaining momentum. These initiatives deserve more spotlight, as they represent a proactive approach to addressing ethical concerns while ensuring we don't compromise on the quality and efficacy of medical advancements. I regret not highlighting how these ongoing collaborations and investments are shaping a more ethical future for scientific research, demonstrating that our current practices are not stagnant but rather poised for transformation. It's a collective journey towards a future where science and ethics advance hand in hand, and it's important to recognize and support these efforts. Thank you for allowing me to elaborate on this point.
Thank you for this chance to reflect on the discussion. One aspect I regret not emphasizing is the cultural shift toward viewing animals as partners in our ecosystem, rather than as resources to be exploited. This shift is not just ethical, it reflects changing societal values that increasingly prioritize compassion and interconnectedness among all living beings. Highlighting this cultural evolution could have strengthened the argument that the public is ready, and, in fact, eager for science and industry to lead with more humane alternatives. This readiness is seen in consumer choices leaning towards cruelty-free products and increasing support for legislation that enhances animal welfare. These indicators show a societal momentum that scientific research can and should align with. Additionally, this shift in perspective can open doors to innovative approaches that involve learning from and working with natural systems, rather than imposing upon them. By reimagining how we engage with the living world, we don't just advance ethically, but we also unlock potentially novel pathways in research, tapping into the rich biological data available in nature itself. I regret not highlighting how science can be both a leader and beneficiary in this cultural shift, redefining its role to one that champions ethical stewardship and collaboration with nature. By tapping into this broader movement, we not only further our ethical commitments but potentially broaden the horizons of scientific discovery. Thank you for allowing me to share this additional perspective.
Thank you, folks. Let's go over to our judges.
Ingrid Leopold scores 1. Argument clarity and strength, 8 out of 10. Ingrid effectively articulated the necessity of animal testing for current scientific and medical advancements, providing clear examples and explaining the ethical considerations involved. However, some points could have benefited from additional contemporary examples of successful balance between animal testing and alternative methods. 2. Engagement with opponents' points, 9 out of 10. Ingrid skillfully acknowledged Evan's arguments while addressing potential misconceptions and challenges with humor and politeness. She maintained a balanced approach, reinforcing her stance with nuanced counter-arguments, particularly in her responses to Evan's criticisms. 3. Incorporation of overlooked issues, 7 out of 10. Ingrid did well in mentioning the regulatory frameworks and ethical standards but didn't bring as much attention to ongoing collaborations aimed at reducing dependence on animal testing. Her acknowledgement of this given the chance to reflect was a good recovery but came later in the debate. Evan Rousseau's scores, 1. Argument clarity and strength, 8 out of 10. Evan presented a compelling ethical case against animal testing, backing his arguments with the potential of alternative methods and the moral imperative for change. His focus on innovation and prevention was well articulated, though a deeper dive into technological specifics could have strengthened his case. 2. Engagement with opponents' points, 8 out of 10. Evan responded effectively to Ingrid's arguments, using humor and wit to refute points while maintaining respect. He adeptly highlighted societal and cultural shifts towards more ethical practices, pressing the need for scientific alignment with these shifts. 3. Incorporation of overlooked issues, 9 out of 10. Evan made the most of the opportunity to discuss cultural shifts and their implications for scientific practices, something not initially part of the core debate but relevant and forward-thinking in context. This effectively bolstered his ethical perspective and highlighted his broader vision for change.
What are your opinions about the debate? What would you like to see AI's debate next? Keep questioning.